What a beauty. Oops. I always almost hit that damn button again. Oh my God. I wanted the countdown so people had a second to check it out. Twice. I've done that twice today.
I saw it the first time too. I'm not judging you.
No, of course not. I mean, come on. This is a judgment-free zone. And for today, I'm going to just ask everybody, please don't judge me today. Tomorrow's a different day, so we can see what happens.
I only judge you in a good way, Ryan. You're the best.
Absolutely.
Love both of you. We are here. We're having our tea today, and I'm joined by Richard Brethour-Bell, who is one of the board directors and the vice president of accessibility, diversity, and inclusion. And he's here to talk about the concert, along with my counterpart, my awesome co-host, Madonna Cacciatore. Hi, folks. How are you?
Hi.
Great. Hi, Richard. I got to see you both in person at a conference. Was that last week?
2 weeks ago.
Was it last
I
weekend?
realized that you do exist from here down. That's great. So great to see you in person, and great to see you
here
as
well. It's a great conference too.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh. Hi, Robin.
Look, Robin's joining us too. Oh my God! Earlier today we had one of these, and we had I'd say 60% of the show typing in the chat. Okay, well, we're done. We have nothing more to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Richard, do you want to tell everybody about the different funds that we have, why we're doing this, and what it really means for the global LGBTQI+ community?
Well, I think one of the things that people really need to hear right now is that we are very concerned about our LGBT+ individuals in the Ukraine. Madman goes crazy, and our people are adversely affected by this. So it's nice to know that some of the proceeds will go to help these individuals who are in a situation that is so unimaginable for many of us. So I'm encouraged about this, and I'm really looking forward to this concert and anything that can help our brothers and sisters. I think we're all in agreement. That's certainly something that we want to do.
No, and that's such an important point. And we are going to be allocating a portion of the proceeds for Ukraine, but also the global South, where things are very dangerous. Things are not as luxurious as they are in Western civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to make sure that it's a time of war. I've been in war situations. It's very dangerous. It's very frightening. And the thing that got me through a period of time was just getting a gift from a random stranger after being bombed for a month. That just gave me renewed hope. That gave me renewed hope after being bombed for a month while I was overseas. Now, let's translate it into current day. It costs about $1,000. $1,000 for a car of 4 to get an evacuation out of Ukraine. That's what we're really talking about here. Every $1,000 can save 4 lives.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so important. I mean, it was important when we came up with this concept, and we wanted to sort of bring more awareness and to InterPride's work and our funding that we do around the globe. But then when the war, anytime you're in a vulnerable group, war, imagine just being in a war, period, and then being an LGBTQIA person, having to flee and probably being at the bottom of the rung of anybody who would be considered, to get to safety, because we have our own issues we deal with every day to be safe. And so now you're in a hostile environment and trying to find safety. And that, it's in Ukraine, and it's also in the global South and in other parts of Eastern Europe. So, and all around the world, honestly, we're not really safe anywhere yet. And my belief is that no one is safe until we're all safe. We have to take care of each other.
Absolutely. I think it's important to mention that when Ryan said that being at war, I think people need to understand this is someone who was serving our country. So thank you for your service. And I also want to mention that both of you brought up the global South, and I think it's important. I do hear some conversations when people are saying, hey, it's awful what's going on in Ukraine, but what about other nations that have been dealing with these issues for years, whether it's war, whether it's rampant legalized homophobia, like in, Jamaica and in other parts of the Caribbean. And so it's important that people understand, as InterPride, that's we're focused on that as well. Right now, this war has really taken center stage, and as it should, with what's going on right now. But our minds are not far from what's going on with our brothers and sisters in other areas, in the Caribbean, in the global South, in parts of Africa. So yes, we're there, and we're concerned with them as well.
See, the war in Ukraine, the thing about it, I think that we all need to realize is that whatever happens there will have an impact on the entire global economy, the entire world, the entire population, the food supply, everything as a result of what's going on in Ukraine it'll be like there'll be some detrimental effects if Russia is able to prevail there. So this is a big concern and it is a hot topic of discussion, but don't think for a second that we're ever going to forget what's going on in the global South.
Absolutely.
We're not. We talk about it all the time. We get
that's really why this concert started. We didn't know that Ukraine was happening this way whenever we came up with a concert fundraiser, because we still have important work to do in the world. Mm-hmm. And we were looking at how we could bring awareness to folks who might not know about our work, but also to raise more money and more funding for people all over the world who need it. And we have different sources of funding. So some of it's more emergency, like our legacy fund is more for urgent situations or more like emergency situations. Our scholarship fund is for, we have over 300 members in 65 countries. It's for those folks to be able to get together at our World Conference and have the resources to come and network and learn from each other and support one another. And then we have the Solidarity Fund, which does focus on, the global South and Eastern Europe and the parts of the world where there are hostile environments, and to help support those communities. So the concept came up before the war in Ukraine, and then this happened. And of course, we have to, I think what it does is it holds up a big mirror about this is an exaggerated situation that shows us just what it's like to be somebody who is being, manipulated, like being, in this case, bombed or blasted. But, it's kind of like how our community, people have to deal with this all over the world all the time in a smaller scenarios. But still, it's, our focus is always on where the help is needed and how we can support folks around the globe.
And if we don't have democracy, we don't have the ability to advance rights. So democracy is the foundation. Authoritarianism, like Russia, is a threat to the entire global community. Russia's already made it clear they want to kill LGBTQI plus people. They made that very clear, exactly like that. So this is the fight that we need to we definitely need to be there to fight for it. But don't think for a second we're not keeping everybody else in our thoughts, and we're not working on other projects that are very important. Uganda, we recently provided some grant funding in Uganda so they could keep their LGBTQ center open. You can go to our website. You can see all the other great work we've done for so many organizations around the world. So we're not changing what we do. We're just elevating something that really needs to be elevated right now, which is the issues that are going on with the war in Ukraine. I mean, Richard, what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, we had the opportunity to go to World Pride last year. And for the first time, I had some really meaningful conversations with LGBT individuals who were refugees. And that when people leave, whether they're evacuating or running for their lives, when they're going to another country, often we think, okay, well, great. Now they're good. And it's a whole other set of issues that they have to deal with. Oftentimes, the countries that they're going to, they're not really welcome. And the communities that they're going to, I spoke to some individuals who were from Ethiopia and were, I believe, in Germany. Well, the Ethiopia community in Germany rejects them because they're LGBTQI plus. They're not accepted at home. They're not accepted abroad. So really getting someone out of the country where they're getting refugee status, quite honestly, that's just the beginning for them. That's just the beginning of their journey. And it's important to remember that.
That is very important to remember. It's not like, okay, I've left here and now I'm good. You really have to, you're right. There's another set of issues, and you're in a different, sometimes I think probably more often than not, they're in a place where they may not speak the language or they may not understand the culture or, it's completely different. It's like if we were just forced to go somewhere, it would be, you're dealing with a whole set of issues that you weren't dealing with before. And not to say it's better. Hopefully, I just can't believe this is how the world is, but it is how the world is. And it's why we needed to do this concert. And it's why we need to raise money. And it's why we have to continue this work.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about. That's why we're here. We're a community of beautiful, diverse people. And when one of us falls, we have to do everything we can to try to pick them up. I know when I got out of the military back in 2007, I went through a period of substance abuse issues and struggled with some mental health issues. And I felt like for the first time after the military, I was able to be myself. I was able to start exploring what it's like to be in the scene, kind of be openly gay, and all the magic that goes with that. And it really was the community, just having a community that helped me get back on the right path. It
Mhm.
was that. And it was because I felt like there was a place for me in this community. And so that's why I'm here doing this work. That's why we're all here doing this work. Definitely want to thank Netta, our headliner. Oh my God, that's so exciting, isn't it?
Ew. So excited.
And I think that's the point to remember when it comes to pride organizing. A lot of times as pride organizers, we're accused of forgetting our purpose, forgetting our mission, and that it becomes all about a party,
Yeah.
and not really focusing on the issues that we're facing globally. And that just isn't true. When I think of pride, yes, we have every reason to celebrate. We've come a long way. We've accomplished so much, as activists as well as as pride organizers. But at the same time, we know our work isn't done. We know there's still so much more that we have to do. Just the fact that we get to, in the United States, celebrate openly a pride, have a pride, and there are other countries, other nations
Yeah.
where they still haven't gotten to that point where they could just have a parade openly, legally, without facing, government, persecution. So
Yeah.
we haven't forgotten our mission. We're still there, but we can also celebrate how far we've come and recognize how far we need to go.
Absolutely. I love that. And we should, I mean, it's, many of us, I'm an older person. I've been fighting, for our rights since I could do so, since I understood what was happening, just pretty much in high school, which was a very long time ago, very, very long time ago. But I do remember I was like, no, this can't be right. Because how people perceived me, people liked me for me. And I thought, well, I can educate people about, hey, I'm just a person who's in a relationship or who has a girlfriend and this is my life. And why should I be, persecuted for that or demeaned for that? And so I'd always been very open. But also had the privilege of being very open. Yes, and I was in Texas. Let's talk about that. There's some bad stuff going on in the U.S. with the people trying to take our rights away, and I think we have to set an example here of saying, no, this is not acceptable because what we do here permeates the rest of the world. I feel like, if Florida gets away with that or Texas gets away with that, that does not help any of our brothers, sisters, and siblings around the world. We have to take a stand. And that's, what I've been doing all my life. And I know that our board of directors and our volunteers and everybody who works with InterPride are like-minded in that way. They want to make the world a better, more equitable, more equal place for all of us. And, we just, I was hoping, I was going to use a cuss word. I don't know if I can on this, but I was hoping
Sure, you
that
can. You can go ahead.
should be over by now. I was hoping that when I was protesting in the 80s in front of the White House and carrying signs that this was it, this was going to be the change. And we headed in that direction. And, then we had some current situations or people in office. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So but we have to keep going. And that's what I love about InterPride. And that's why I'm part of InterPride, because this organization does that work.
Absolutely.
We changed so much just in a very short period of time. Richard could attest to that. We're
Absolutely.
doing some great webinars. I've got some other webinars coming up too. You want to tell everybody?
Absolutely. I mean, you two presented a webinar on white fragility, which was very powerful. And I think it was powerful for you as well. I think it was important to hear the conversations that people are having when it comes to discussing equality and diversity, those kinds of things, and how some people feel threatened by that. So I really appreciate the job you two did on that. We had one recently about addressing the issues of bias and racism from the perspective of First Nations of Australia. With World Pride coming up, I thought that was very important that we had that conversation. And now we have one coming up soon, I believe, but the 27th, I believe, where we're going to talk about the racism and bias that interracial queer couples face. Ryan's in an interracial relationship, I'm in an interracial relationships, and our partners are going to participate in this. So it'd be interesting, Ryan, that you think to kind of sit back and hear their perspective of what they're having to deal with.
Right.
It's so great because we're going to get the perspective of an African-American, a Latino, and a very privileged white man. And I think this is going to be very informative for a lot of people to understand the challenges and the joys that those of us who are in interracial relationships face.
Oh, I can't wait.
It sounds great. What date is that one? The 27th, I believe you said?
27th, I believe.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I know that'll be a welcome panel or workshop. I feel like, Robin and I, many of our friends are in interracial relationships, and we talk about it. We talk about what they experience, and I feel like this will be good for people to sort of understand that intersectionality, as well as all the other ways in which we navigate ourselves through life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's perfect.
It's not a cakewalk.
No, it's not. But in the meantime, we want to definitely say thank you to our partners, Happy Socks, TripAdvisor, Digital Realty, and Reverie. We, working with all of them has been so much fun. Happy Socks.
I love Happy Socks.
Happiness is in the name.
It is. And they use all the color little circles all over their I just love it. Just draws you in. I'm trying to copy some of the ideas without copywriting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we don't need copyright infringement.
No. We have a lawyer. We check everything, please. No. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you. If you can donate, please donate. This work is to help our global community. That's what this is about. So donate what you can, share our post, and guess what? I've got like 5 of these lined up tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you,